Hey, morning everyone. Okay, so let's get going this morning. I'm going to do a slow and steady class, just kind of some deep stretches, chill, take it easy. So we're going to start lying down. So if you want to lie down onto your back, just however it's comfortable for you to get there. You can have knees bent or legs out straight. Have your palms facing up if that's possible, if that's comfortable for your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders come down away from the head. Close your eyes over. And then take a moment to connect with your body and your breath. So feeling your body, noticing which points are in contact with the floor, noticing which points are lifted. Feeling the breath come in and out through your nose. As you inhale, feel your abdomen expand as well as your chest. So you breathe in through your nose, abdomen lifts up, then chest expands, and then you breathe out through your nose and your whole body sinks down. As you exhale, start to feel your whole body relax. Feel your shoulders drop down to the floor, feel your arms and legs become heavy. And then start to move your toes, circle your ankles around. Start to move your fingers and circle your wrists around. And then rock your head slowly from one side to the other. So just starting to loosen up and warm up the joints, and then make your movements a little bit bigger. When you're ready, reach your arms up overhead, open your eyes, do a big full body stretch. And then hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze your knees in, have a rock from one side to the other. And then coming back to the centre, take your hands onto your knees. So you've got left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee, big toes touching. We're going to circle the legs apart from one another. So drawing two circles in opposite directions with your hands, keeping the big toes together, and you're just loosening up from the hips. Do a few one way and then switch direction, circle back the other way, legs still moving apart from one another. And then bring your knees back to the centre, interlace your fingers and cup your left shin, or you can hold onto the back of your thigh if that's more comfortable. Push your right heel up into the air and have your right leg as straight as you can comfortably get it, kicking up through the heel, engaging the leg. Squeeze your left knee in, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, kicking through your right heel, slowly lower your leg to hover above the floor. So you keep your right leg active, you keep pushing the heel away from you, and you draw your left knee up towards your chest. Hold there for a breath. And then bring your knee back in, switch over. So hug your right knee into the chest, however you're going to do that. Push your left heel up into the air. So keep your left leg active this time, kicking through the heel. Big inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower to a hover. Keep pushing your foot away from the rest of your body and start to draw your right knee in and up. And then bring both knees back into your chest. Have a rock from side to side. Circle your ankles around. And then take your hands onto your knees again. This time we're going to circle the knees in the same direction. So you're moving your hands like this, and the hips kind of roll around on the floor. And then go back the other way. Come back to the centre, draw your knees in towards your chest, and then push your knees away, and then rocking backwards and forwards like this. So you push your knees away and you push your tailbone down to the floor, and then you squeeze your knees in and your tailbone lifts and your lower back pushes down. You move like that. And then bring your knees into your chest, extend your legs up. You can either hold onto the backs of your legs or you can have your hands resting down on your mat. You want your legs fairly straight, but don't worry about having them perfectly straight. So soft bend in the knees, feet stacked above the hips so that your legs are balanced and you don't need to use too much effort to keep them up there. And then just take a couple of deep breaths. Relax your shoulders down. And then bring your feet to the floor. And then we'll come up into seated, then hands and knees. So you're going to rock up or push yourself up. Take your legs back behind you. Come onto your hands and your knees. So you've got knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Inhale into your cow pose. So tailbone lifts, chest comes forwards, look forwards. As you exhale, round your back. Drop your chin to your chest. And then keep going like that. So inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. As you breathe in, pull the chest forwards, roll the shoulders back. As you breathe out, as you round your back, draw your shoulder blades apart from one another and have a stretch on your upper back. Keep going. Just moving slow and steady in time with your breath. Do one or two more. When you've finished, come back to neutral. Make sure your hands are shoulder distance, fingers spread nice and wide. Tuck your toes, we'll come up into downward facing dog. So lift your hips up into the air, pedal out through your feet. Starting off reasonably quickly and then gradually slowing it down. So over time, spending a little bit longer with each heel coming towards the ground. Sinking your weight down through alternate legs. And don't worry if your heel doesn't touch the floor or your leg isn't completely straight. It's just heading in that direction. And then coming back to neutral. So weight evenly through both legs, evenly through both hands. Soft bend in your knees. Squeeze the arms together. Lift the hips up. And then extend the legs. Head should be relaxed between the arms, so you're looking back towards your feet and not towards the floor. Take some long, deep breaths here. Really firmly push your hands down and away from you. Pull up through the front of your legs. Imagine someone is pulling your hips back behind you, so pulling your hips away from your hands. And then look up at the spot between your hands. Slowly walk your feet up, nice big bend as they come closer. And then roll slowly up to stand. So spine roll up, head coming up last. Roll your shoulders back. Take a big breath in, stand tall in your mountain pose. Roll your shoulders back, stretch your fingertips to the floor, tuck your hips under, lift up through the crown of your head. And then we're going to do some warrior poses. We're going to start with a warrior one. Step your right leg back, big step back, Turn your toes halfway out. Left toe stay facing forwards, knee above the ankle. Hips face to the short edge of your mat. And then sweep your arms up into the air, relax your shoulders down. Lift your chin slightly. Inhale. As you exhale, turn it into a warrior two. So you face everything out to the side. Your back foot turns out so it's facing the long edge of your mat. Your left leg stays exactly as it was. Your hips tuck under and your hands are in line with your shoulders. Relax your shoulders down and gaze across the top of your left arm. And then just breathing deeply, so standing strong and steady, legs engaged, legs firm, pushing down. Chest feeling light, lifting, stretching up through the neck, through the head. Arms feeling strong and steady. Then turn your left palm so it faces up. Inhale, reverse warrior. So you lift your left arm up into the air and your right hand just really lightly rests on your right leg. And look up to the ceiling if your neck will allow you to, or just look wherever is comfortable for you. Make sure your weight stays coming down through your left leg. So this whole time the left leg just stays exactly as it is. Inhale yourself back up to your warrior two, and then exhale, lean forwards, resting on the top of your left thigh. Right hand coming all the way up overhead, palm facing down. Roll your right shoulder back and look up to the ceiling. So our side angle pose. Nice stretch all the way through the right side of the body. Inhale, lift back up into warrior two. Relax the shoulders. Come back to warrior one. And then back to mountain. Relax the shoulders, kind of reset everything. Stay where you are. I'm going to flip to the other side just so that you can see me better when I take my leg back, but you can just stay where you are if you want to. So stand in mountain pose, step your left leg back, turn your toes halfway out, hips and chest face forward, arms lift, warrior one. Right knee stays stacked above the right ankle, nice big gap between the feet, hips sinking down low. Inhale, as you exhale, turn it into a warrior two. Hands in line with your shoulders, tuck the hips, push down through the outside edge of your left leg. Yep, left leg. Sorry, I got my left and right mixed up there. Right knee above your ankle, gazing down your right arm, and then turn your right arm up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand is just lightly resting, so you should be able to lift it fairly easily. Stretch up through your right arm, lift up through the side of your chest. Sink the hips down low. Inhale, back up, and then exhale, side angle pose. So you've got your forearm resting on the top of your thigh, left arm coming up by the ear. Take your gaze upwards, roll the shoulder back, stretch through your fingertips. Inhale as you lift all the way back up, and then exhale, come to your warrior one pose, pause for a breath, and then back to mountain. Roll your shoulders, stand tall in your mountain pose, and hop to the other side again. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, pour forward, so hinge from the hips, lead with your chest. Bring your hands down through the middle. And then hands come either to the floor if they reach, or onto your legs, around the backs of the legs, onto the ankles, wherever is comfortable. Soft bend in your knees, lift your hips up, and then drop your head. So look back at your legs rather than to the floor. Crown of the head coming down. Tilt your weight forwards into your toes so your heels become light on your mat. And then shift your weight back into your heels, lift your toes. And then just do that backwards and forwards a few times. So move really slowly, lots of control. Just take it really steady. So you're just moving your centre of gravity backwards and forwards. And then find somewhere in the middle. Again, make sure your head is completely relaxed, arms relaxed down. And then take your hands to the floor, step back onto hands and knees. Knees hips distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart. Inhale, stretch your left arm up into the air. And then exhale, thread your left hand underneath your right arm. And we'll do thread the needle. So you slide your hand away, rest your head and shoulder on the floor, right hand gently pressing down to keep the elbow lifted, keep the right shoulder coming above the left. So you keep your chest open, there's a bit of space here, rather than just relaxing down. Make sure your neck is comfortable. And then just holding there for a couple of deep breaths, everything relaxing. Feeling that twist from the waist, maybe you're feeling a stretch in your upper back. And then inhale back up onto hands and knees. Lift your right arm up into the air, take a deep breath in as you stretch up, and then exhale as you twist around. Slide your hand underneath your left arm. Spin this way so you can see a different angle. Rest your head and shoulder down. Left hand gently pushing down to the floor, keeping your chest open. Take one more breath. And then inhale back up onto your hands and your knees. And then we're going to slide the legs out in front. So swing the legs out in front of you. Sit bones on the floor, so move the thighs apart. Feet flexed, legs engaged, front of the legs pulling up. Inhale as you stretch your arms up into the air. And then exhale, hinge forwards, come into a forward fold. Release your head and hold there. So if you can touch your toes, then touch your toes. If you can't reach the toes comfortably, it doesn't matter. You just hold wherever you're comfortable. Keep leading with your chest. As you inhale, stretch your head away from your hips. So whichever angle you're at, you just stretch your head away from your hips. And then as you exhale, relax down. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax. Keep doing that for about 5 rounds of breath and then just hold wherever you end up. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Make sure there's no tension in your arms. So soft elbows, relaxed shoulders. And then inhale, slowly roll yourself up. Roll your shoulders back. Scoot yourself forward so you have space behind you. And then if you're able to, you're going to roll down like a sit-up in slow motion. So engage the core, sit tall, and then slowly, slowly take your back onto your mat. If you need to use your hands, then by all means use the hands. And then arms come up overhead, stretch out, full body stretch. And then take your hands back by your sides, bend your knees again. We're going to do a bridge pose. So you want your feet tucked in fairly close to your hips. You should be able to touch your heels just with the tips of your fingers, and then bring your feet to hips distance. Keep your thighs hips distance the whole time, so if you have a little look down, they should be parallel. Tuck the hips under, and then inhale, lift your hips up, and then start to roll your back up off the floor. So chin tucks slightly into chest, push the hips up into the air, and then as you exhale, slowly roll all the way back down. And then going up and down a few times. So inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. Moving as slowly and carefully as you can. Think of your spine like a chain moving piece by piece. So it's individual pieces lifting one at a time. Hips lift, then your lower back, then your mid, then your upper back, your chest, and then you come slowly down in reverse. And you keep squeezing your inner thighs together to keep the knees in line with the hips. We'll do one more up and down. Move nice and slow. When you do your last one and your hips come to the floor, hug your knees to your chest, have a rock from side to side. Take your feet to the floor and then extend your right leg up into the air, hold behind the back of your thigh, circle your ankle around a few times each way, and then flex your foot and start to stretch out the back of your leg. If you want a deeper stretch, you can extend your left leg away. Make sure your shoulders stay relaxed. Make sure you aren't feeling any sharp feelings or any pain anywhere, just a nice deep feeling of extension on the back of your right leg. And then take the right foot to the floor, extend your left leg up. Same on that side. So again, you've got the option to have a bent knee or a straight leg, depending on how flexible you are. And then bring both legs together again, so bent knees, feet flat on the floor. Stretch your arms out into a T shape, or if, like me, you don't have space to do a T, you can do cactus arms, what I call them. So lying on your back, either doing this or this. So you just want your elbows in line with your shoulders, chest open, and then start to rock your knees from left to right. Next time your knees go over to the right, let them drop all the way to the floor and then turn your head to the left. Close your eyes over, focus on your breath. Feel your whole body relax. On an inhale, come back to the centre, so bring your head back to the middle, bring your knees back to the centre, drop your legs over to the left, turn your head to the right, close the eyes over, feel the whole body relax. Feel your shoulders drop down, feel your chest open. And then inhale back to the centre. Coming into Shavasana or your relaxation pose. So traditionally you would have your hands by your side, palms faced up, your legs out wide, toes turning apart from one another. If that's not comfortable for you, then you can bend your knees, you can sit up, you can adjust however you need to. So make yourself comfortable for a moment, keep the eyes closed over. And then just before we get going with the rest of the day, taking a moment to pause, to be mindful of this present moment. So just think about how you're feeling right now in the here and now, completely forgetting about everything else. Just feel your body in contact with the floor. Feel the breath come in and out of your nose. Feel your body expand as you inhale and relax as you exhale. And just appreciate this moment. Do a scan through your body and see if you're holding on to tension anywhere that it doesn't need to be. So commonly we might hold some tension in our shoulders, in our hips, in our lower back. Just relaxing those areas. Maybe you're clenching your jaw without realising, so relax that. Wherever it may be, just make sure you release, relax your whole body, and then take a couple more deep breaths before we move again. And then start to move your fingers and toes, move your ankles, move your wrists, move your head from side to side. Reach your arms up overhead, just do a big full body stretch. Stretch out your right side, stretch out your left side. And then back to the centre, hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side, slowly open your eyes when you're ready. And then make your way up into a seated position. Rock yourself up or sit yourself up. So sit comfortably, sit yourself tall and upright, roll your shoulders forwards and back, maybe do a couple of neck stretches. And then inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands to your chest to finish. Namaste.